They were asleep in the chadir when the smoke from the hearth turned into a clawed paw and began to climb down the young shaman's throat. Squeezed his tongue in his throat, and he began to speak on his own without human involvement.
Horse. Get yourself a horse, legless Saush.
Saush opened his eyes. Everything was okay. The smoke, as it should have been, flew in thin streams towards the sky, and his tongue was obeying his wishes.
Maybe it's just a dream?
He reassured himself, but some burning taste in his throat and the slightly numb tongue convinced him that this dream was not an ordinary one.
Well, why did you turn around? Why can't you sleep? You must sleep. How will Syur fly free otherwise?
What is Syur?
Oh.
The old man sat down on his bed and began to rub a sprig of shiksha in his hands.
Syur is the soul.
Which of the 5?
The most important. It leaves your body while you are sleeping and flies wherever it wants to different worlds. Your soul will soon make friends with you and will be able to take you to the spirits when you perform a shamanic ritual. But if a person does not sleep, then the soul Syur will become homesick for freedom and fly far away. And then you will die.
Saush thought for a while. A long time ago, he was sure that there was only one soul, and it is the only one. But now, he was being told about 5 souls, and that they were all different.
What other souls are there?
Everything in its own time, young man. It will soon come. Now tell me, what were you doing moving and turning in your sleep like that?
Saush immediately remembered the unpleasant, terrible dream and instantly told it. The old man listened while not forgetting to keep the fire, and his face was very serious.
They want you badly, more badly than I thought.
Who?
Spirits. Get dressed. We should not delay.
Saush put on his warm clothes.
And take the gun with you.
Are we going hunting?
No. Hurry up and don't ask silly questions, Saush.
They went outside. The air was like tingling from the frost. The sharp white snow blinded their eyes. The cold stung their cheeks, but they breathed surprisingly easy and pleasantly. Teacher and student put on their skis and went straight forward to the rising sun. They had to ski the whole day without stopping. Saush felt that he had very little energy left, but he was not lagging behind the old man. Though he could hardly be called an old man now, he was not even out of breath. The whole day passed in silence, with only the occasional bird flying by, or a beast creeping somewhere. And not ever that day did the shaman of the north permit the use of a gun, although both roe deer and caribou were seen. It was only when darkness fell that the shaman of the north stopped and, still silent, began to light a fire. Saush was already struggling to keep on his feet and was glad for the relief. When the fire was lit, the shaman placed his student opposite him. The fire kind of separated them, and the shaman started to speak.
Now listen to me carefully. Today you were dreaming a complicated dream. These are spirits. They need you soon to start shamanism, and for that, you need a tambourine. This is your horse. It will carry you through the spirit world. There is no strong shaman without a horse. I know you will be a strong shaman. It is tradition for us that a tambourine is given by relatives so that it is filled with the power of the lineage. But you are not an ordinary man, and you have no lineage here, so you will make a tambourine for yourself. Go and get it.
Who? You mean the tambourine?
Saush didn't understand.
Do they hang them in the forest?
Shut up, you silly man.
The always calm shaman of the north suddenly became angry.
You will close your eyes and go to the forest. There you will find your red deer, but remember, you need a special red deer only for you. Kill it and come back.
How can I go into the forest with my eyes closed? And how will I know that it is my own red deer if I see one at all?
Go, Saoxiant, go. Otherwise you will not be a shaman. You will understand everything yourself, and if you do not understand, then you are weak.
Cao Xiant gripped the gun tighter and stepped from the gentle fire into the dark night. Seeing nothing, he could feel well both the snow beneath his feet and the trees around him, as if an incredible force was gently guiding him forward. But being blind when you can actually see is too unaccustomed for a man, and Cao Xiant opened his eyes. Immediately, his foot became tangled in a honeysuckle branch, and a bough from a tree nearly poked him in the eye. He realized that he had to walk, as his teacher had said, and closed his eyes again. It was not clear how long he had been walking. Sometimes it seemed like only a few minutes, and sometimes many days. But then something happened. The man could no longer walk. He just didn't feel like it. Cao Xiant opened his eyes. And right in front of him, well lit by the full moon that had just come out, stood a beautiful marl with huge branching horns. The marl looked as if it had been waiting for him. It did not try to run away. When the young shaman aimed in the eyes of the marl, he saw not fear of death, but rather a desire to escape into the spirit world. With 2 shots, Cao Xiant put the handsome creature down. When Cao Xiant with his heavy burden came back to the fire, it was almost morning.
Here it is.
A proud Cao Xiant threw the carcass down at the master's feet.
Well, good. Now you must make a sacrifice to Erlich. He is the chief spirit, and he was the first shaman. Begin.
The student took out a knife with a broad blade and began to carefully remove the hide. A thin trickle of blood began to color the snow, and the old man set a cup down.
Drink 3 sips. Kut is the life force in it, and this marl was a strong beast.
Cao Xiant took a sip.
Pour some to the spirits of fire, wind, and earth. They will help you. Now taste the liver. It gives birth to blood. Kut lives in it.
But it's the heart that distributes the blood.
It distributes, but it does not give birth. It is the heart which gives birth to Tessa's soul, the soul of your past, your affection, your memory. And from the liver comes the life force from which you squander ties to your past and your heart. And when the past becomes too much, you will die. But if there is no attachment, the power will come back to you from there. When you bury the memories within you, you will live a long life.
Over the conversation, the red deer skin was removed, the meat was left in the forest for the wild animals, and they went home. In the warmth of the chatir, the people warmed up and rested.
What, Cao Xiant, are you tired?
Well, not anymore, Master.
Huh? What did you call me?
Master, why? Aren't you teaching me now?
A little offended, Cao Xiant asked.
Do I look like a skinny, sickly little man standing at a blackboard?
No, you don't, but you are the one who is teaching me, aren't you?
All right then, Cao Xiant. You can call me anything you like. It's not that important. Now listen carefully, apprentice. You have to go to the cemetery where my master lies. He accepted you, which means you can take the Kayamla from him. Cut it from the birch on which his body is lying. It contains part of his power.
This time, Cao Xiant did not ask anything. He simply got dressed and went out. When he arrived at the place, he saw how beautiful the birch tree was. Tall, perfectly straight, without sore branches, it simply radiated power. It would be a pleasure to touch the Kayamla with his hand. The shaman admired the tree for a long time, but it was time for action, and he cut one of the branches with a big sharp knife. Immediately the wind blew up, and in its howl, Cao Xiant could hear the approval.
you, Master!
Cao Xiant bent his head in front of the remains of the great shaman and hurried home. But he could not go far away. Behind the nearest cedar tree, someone groaned.
Is it just from imagination?
But the moaning was repeated and the young shaman hurried over there.